So, hello everyone and welcome to Seidat webinar about unlocking sales success. I'm Paulus Perkki, the CEO and the founder of Seidat. And in the early beginning, when we are waiting for the rest to arrive to this session, I really recommend you to follow us in social media, especially in LinkedIn and in Instagram. So those are the channels where we tell the most new events what are coming and of course sharing all kind of tips to develop sales. Today's agenda is interesting and we start from where is the greatest potential to impact sales results. We take a topic how should you manage sales, and what is the role of presentation in management, how can presentation be turned into effective sales tools, how to maximize team performance through presentation training, and of course, because this is organized by Seidat, I want to tell a little bit how Seidat could support those topics. During the webinar, we keep the chat open all the time. So if you have any questions or comments, please do not hesitate to send those to me. We are recording this webinar, so you will get the recording and you can watch it later and share to your colleagues. So let's jump to this interesting topic about how to unlock your sales success. Maybe in the first, I start telling who I am. I'm Paulus Perkki, CEO and the founder. I have been working with sales more than 30 years. In reality, I haven't had any time title as a sales something, but always I have been working quite a lot with sales. I have founded several companies and trained and lead sales all the time. So it has been interesting experience what I try to share during this webinar. We can start from this question: what should you lead in sales? What is the role of the presentation in leadership? And if you think about sales itself, it's an interesting topic, and if we think about different kind of roles in sales, there are people who are running the back office work. They manage the sales process. There are actions what should be done there. There are actions which build sales culture in your team. There are actions which and tools which develop the process how to run sales. But then there is a front line, those meetings and the communication between you as a salesperson and the buyer. So interaction between your customer. I really believe that if you want to develop your sales results, the most effective way is to build and develop these frontline side actions. And one part of that frontline in a meetings, in a communication between you and your customer is of course presentations. And if you think about presentations itself, I think at least that the presentation should be like a campfire where you collect your friends, your family, and you start discussing about different topics around that. Maybe eat something, drink something, and it's fun. And because there is this campfire, everyone collects around it easily, and the discussion starts. And if you think about the presentation, slides, what you use in a meeting, they should be same kind of the presentation should have same kind of function. So it gives some wow effect, and it supports you as a salesperson to run the meeting correctly. It opens new discussion topics, but it should not be something what you read down step by step and express that way. What are you selling? What is the company which you are presenting, and so on. And if you think about presentations and the sales situations, I think that this interaction, conversation during the meeting is the most important part. And that's why I really recommend to use that kind of presentation tools which allows you to interact with your audience. And that's why, because I really think that the most effective way to unlock sales success happens here in the front line, and presentations are really big part of that interaction and those meetings which you are running. That's why I'm quite a lot talking also about presentations. What should you lead was the previous topic, and then we can jump directly to the next topic: how to lead and manage sales team to unlock better sales results. And I think that it's very important that we think about the role of presentations. Could they help you to lead people? And what kind of real-time examples there are? What are the typical problems when leading and managing sales team? If you want to take your sales leadership to next level, I think that it will be continuous process. It's not something what you can do during. I will be a much better leader tomorrow. Of course, we can decide it, but it will not happen that way. So it's like a process. And if you think about it as a process, I really recommend you to build some kind of system which supports that process. What we have done, for example, we have monthly campaigns and we have webinars. Webinars are very important part of our sales process from that point of view, that it's one way to generate leads. And when we have them every second week, our salespeople learn that they will get here and there some new leads, and it's supporting their sales. And when we develop our sales, our marketing results on webinar side, the sales is developing. And of course, those campaigns, they are also really important. In this month, for example, we do this and that we can offer to our customers, especially, for example, it can be like presentation design services more actively than in other, and we can give some discount on that part. On leadership is also its interaction with your colleagues, and in that interaction, how I feel, it's mostly some kind of the purpose should be, of course, encouraging them, but removing obstacles. Because salespeople, they have typically some problems what they try to solve themselves, but you as a leader, if you want to unlock those problems which there are, it's removing obstacles, solving problems. I also recommend to set KPIs, what are the goals, and then follow those goals. We are, for example, later I can tell more detailed, but we are collecting points. We are not measuring only sales results in euros and how many deals everyone has achieved, but we are collecting points. But let's go to that a little bit later. Leadership to unlock your sales to next level is also strategical selections. You must decide, should you do the sales walking from door to door or calling by phone? Is it inbound or outbound led sales? What kind of segments? What are your ICPs? To who you should sell? And I think those 4 topics are really important part if you think about leadership and where should you concentrate if you want to make it happen that your leadership you can step to the next level of the leadership. Then, if you go back to that topic, that where you can get the best results, and it's that interaction part of sales meetings. And I really recommend to build very clear structure for those meetings with your salespeople and you as a salesperson can run. Typically, how we see the structure of the meeting is that typically it starts with introduction. Why we are in this sales meeting. Then it is important that you clarify the customer needs. You solve the problem, what they are explaining, and tell how it can be solved. Is there some common ways to solve that kind of problems? And then jump to the topic, what is your solution for that problem or challenge what your customer has? They are always also interested, why should you choose your solution and what kind of reference cases you have. And maybe if you are selling some kind of service, for example, or your product is a little bit more complicated, there will be some kind of process, what will happen after the decision process until the product or service has fully delivered. And then, of course, you must explain what are the next steps, how we will continue. But if you think about the sales meeting, I told the whole interaction process here, but it can be divided into 2 or 3 meetings typically. The sales cycle can be even longer. It can include several meetings if the product or service is more complex. But if you have that kind of structure of the meeting, why should you not build the presentation on that way? In the background of this image, I have the structure of sales presentation, and it's structured on that way. It's starting from the introduction, have customer needs clarification part, there is solutions, and so on. So build the presentation on that way, how you want to manage or lead those meetings, and then your salespeople, it's easy for your salespeople to follow that. When they have a tool which allows them to go step by step in a meeting, it's very easy for them to deliver that process. What is then problem when you build this kind of typical sales presentations is that typically in your company there is maybe many different kind of functions. There are marketing people, they are building some parts of the materials, then there are product or service management department or function, there are sales concept developers and sales teams. And all these functions are building the content for sales meetings. And how it typically happens is that everything starts from marketing, then comes those product managers, service directors, then comes sales team or business unit is building some industry-based content. For example, it can be references or some specialities. They add that kind of content to presentation, and then comes salespeople, and they are adjusting, tailoring the material to their customers. So the material what salespeople are using, they are not creating that only themselves, but it develops step by step by several people. And it is really important in this kind of cases that you have a system which supports that. And you have a system that allows you to build and maintain the presentation structure on the way how you want to lead those meetings. And that's why I really recommend you to check what kind of platforms you are using for managing those sales presentations. If you think about those presentations more detailed, I think it's very important also to understand that it's not only one presentation typically which is enough if you lead your team. You may have some intro material what you can send before the meetings. You have material, those sales presentations itself, they are used in the meetings, and then you share something after that, create some memo, sponsor letters, and create proposals, and finally agreements. So there are several kinds of materials, and I think that this makes it even a little bit more complicated if you don't have a good system how to manage that. What is very typical is that you may have same kind of content here in intro material than what you are using in a meeting. You must use same material also when you send a memo to your customer. Of course, the memo will be tailored based on your customer needs, but it's built typically using same materials. And that's why I think that managing of those materials is important, because it maybe happens quite easily that there is huge amount of work if you don't have centralized content management where everyone can have access easily. But then there is a question also, why to use presentations in these meetings? The interaction is important, and but is there some reason why should you use presentations? Not only leadership-wise, but is there any other reasons for that? And I think that there are many researches which tells that if you are explaining something to your customer, and if you think that speaking is enough, based on researches, they say that your customer will understand maybe 10% of what you try to tell. If you can use some material where you have text, bullet points, and some extra content, then the understanding is about double. But if you have something where you can use some visualizations which explains the message, it's 8 times higher. And this is the biggest reason why I recommend you to use presentations in meetings. It's not only guide for your salespeople, but it's also to make that interaction between you, your people, and your customers more, to raise up the quality of those discussions. And the more you can use visual material, the more your customer understand, and it means that they will sell more. Your salespeople will sell more. Also, if you think about how presentation can help salespeople in a meeting, it's important to think a little bit about the structure, how you build those presentations. Typically, presentations are like railways. They start from somewhere and you go step by step following the presentation. But it's not interactive. If you can have this kind of matrix structure in a presentation, it maybe helps you to interact more actively. You can build that presentation the way that you have a like elevator pitch level content here in the headline, and you can then go deeper when your customer is asking you more questions. Then you go here and much deeper and try to answer those questions very easily, together with all kind of presenter views. What I'm, for example, using at the moment, like here, I can show the whole presentation, and I can here easily select slides, and if you have questions, I can easily answer to those. One step also about how to develop your presentations to very high level is also to understand the efficiency of visuality and storytelling. I have here one example. This could be one slide, for example, a cover page in a presentation. I have seen many presentations which has been built this way, that you have only logo on your presentation and maybe brand color around it. And then if you take a next step, you add some kind of image. I have here a very nice image from the Lapland, and it's giving you some kind of totally different kind of image. It's going towards some kind of storytelling. But then, for example, if we are selling some kind of Lapland mystic things, it could be really good to build use that kind of images. But for example, we are selling presentation platform, and it's all about people and how they interact in meetings. That's why I recommend in that kind of case, put some smiling face to the slide, and it's again much more better. Maybe something about what you are selling. Okay, presentation solution. But if you then want to take next step, then you maybe add there some more effective way of using that content, make every meeting a success. It's totally different kind of story than only a presentation solution. So it's very important to think this kind of things. What you put to your slides, it's not only to make them visual, add the very nice images, make some visualizations, but when the image itself is communicating the story, what you are trying to tell, and the text is giving stronger message, then it helps your salespeople to sell more. What is then the meaning of if you think about presentations, and typically companies have those basic sales presentations, they have company presentations, but they also tailor those presentations to your customers. And I really think that it's important to always think about who is speaking and to who you are speaking. When you have a sales meeting, who is speaking? Is it the company, or is it your product manager who is speaking with those slides, or is it the salesman? And are you speaking to company or the buyer? I really think that this is not only that you can put the name of your customer to the slides, but it's about the content, what you build to those presentations. It's important to think about the tone of voice, so that it's telling that I'm now selling to you. It's also, of course, our company is selling to your company, but it's even more important that I'm selling to you, and build those presentations that way. And when you tailor those presentations, it's quite a lot. It means typically that it's manual work, but luckily there are ways to automate that. For example, many of our customers are building tailoring using automations. They can get the data from CRM tools or Google Sheet or Excel. Then they move that data to Seidat presentations, for example, as a proposal. And then when you tailor the content using those automations, it will not take any more time. You can automate it so that those notes which you write to your CRM, they are automatically delivered to your presentations, and then you save quite a lot of time. We have, for example, customers who are using that kind of system. Kuopion Ykköstili, tiny accounting company from Finland, is one good example, and they use HubSpot and Seidat together. And on their website, you can even ask for proposal, and the whole process will be run automatically to get that proposal. If we then think this unlocking sales success, it's also quite a lot quality question. You can't change easily your salespeople, but you can easily change the quality of your content, what they are using. And that helps them to run much better sales meetings. And one part of that is, of course, that what kind of content you are typically using in sales meetings. Is it only presentation with images? Can you add something else there also? Good examples to make those presentations more interesting is to add, if you are selling something where you could build this kind of 360 images, then if you can use them in a meetings, it can help you to sell much easily. For example, if you are selling apartments or cars or tractors or whatever bigger things, this is one really interesting opportunity. It's also interesting to use sometimes websites inside the presentation. For example, we typically use it so that if you want to tell what is something interesting, what is coming, what's happening next in our company, we can, for example, show that okay, we have this and that kind of webinars coming. For example, next week we have Seidat admin user training. We don't need to update that presentation all the time, but it's updating automatically because the website is always up to date. It's very typical also for our customers that they are using calculators on the presentations. And when you can have this kind of, for example, pricing calculator or ROI calculator, it will raise up, of course, the quality of the meetings. It's so easy to discuss about will it pay back and when it will pay back if we invest to your solution. Also, if we think about the quality of the presentation, it's interesting to think about those different topics. When you share the content to your customers, why should you not use, for example, calendar embeddings, so that inside the presentation which you share, the customer can immediately decide when they want to continue the discussion and book a meeting with you. It can be also some material which you are sharing in social media, for example. As I shared, for example, yesterday, some introduction, what is Seidat all about, including all kind of videos and so on. So the people who watch that presentation, they can get some basic understanding and then they can click only and book a meeting. And yeah, once again, I can say, if you have any questions, please ask me. I really like to have that kind of interaction. So the quality of the presentation can come from this kind of versatile content, but it's also important that you use very good quality photos and videos. It's raising up the quality of the meeting, and try to build it that way that the material is always up to date. If you say that it's easy, we have smart slides. When you update one slide in one place, it will be updated to every presentation where this slide has been used. In our workspace, we have 6,500 is the most amount of how many slides in how many presentation one slide has been used. So if I update the slide, 6,500 presentations will be updated immediately. And when your salespeople has always up-to-date material, it's very easy for them to concentrate to discussion with customer. They can be always sure that the content is up to date. Also, if you think about the whole process to unlock the sales results, now we have been discussing what is the most important parts of the process. We have been discussing how you can support your sales with very good quality materials and how it will affect your sales results. But it's always really important to remember that it means also that you must train your people to build how they will use those materials, how they will sell your product and services. And what we have experienced is that it's very important that you document everything, how it must be done. So it's not only something which is hanging here in the air, that we must sell our products and services this way. And of course, you must have trainings, but the problems what salespeople have, they comes here and there. And that's why it's very, very important that you build some kind of self-learning material which they can use whenever they want. What we have built as an example is that we built this kind of Seidat argumentation content, and it's built this way that at first there is our internal part. With this slide we never use with customers, but it's only for internal use, how to train and how to understand our customer needs better. And one problem what our customers have is that they want to get more interactive meetings. Here we tell what is the problem behind that, and then we tell what is our solution, what kind of features we have, what kind of services we may have related to that topic, and how the customer will benefit from that. Then how we have built this is that below that overview, we use those slides which we typically use in sales meetings. And when we have built this kind of material, for example, in this, I can show that this is also really huge content. There are more than 100 slides. There are many topics. And how to keep that kind of content up to date if you don't have a good tool where the material is updating automatically, like it's happening in Seidat. But when we have this kind of system, it's not in any kind of pain to build this kind of internal materials, which is mixing some internal content and then those contents what we are using, and it's easy for salespeople to train themselves how they could develop their sales pitches in specific situations. We have also built same kind of content about references. This is the reference case which we have built about in-house group, which is our really strong customer. We have built in this setup some kind of basic background information about them. We have included to the package slides what we are using to tell the case story. We have embedded here also the content what we use on our website as a case studies, and then we have added example what was the presentation before and what is looks like today. Has there been any development? It's a good question. And all kind of videos what we have built together with them. We have also building this kind of sales playbook, and it tells about the structure, for example, of the meeting, how it has been built typically, how to run the meeting. If in introduction happens this and that, then you can decide should you follow this path, or then should you jump to a little bit more educational phase and try to make them understand why we are discussing about this topic. So when you train your people, build the content, what you can use in those trainings, but save them to the place where your people can use them when they want that. I think it's very important part of this educational part of developing the sales results. As I said, it's not enough that you educate your people, but then you must follow up how your sales results are going up and how this sales game is going. And as I said earlier, we have built this kind of system that we are collecting points. What is the basic idea behind this point collection is that, of course, in CRM, we are calculating how many meetings you have been running during the week, how many cases you have lost, how many you have won, how many calls you have done, and so on. And it's very typical in a sales team that salespeople are on different kind of stages. Some of them are learning still, and some of them has really good pipeline and they are delivering already good results. But with this point collection system, we have solved it so that all of them are on same level. If you don't have strong pipeline, then you must collect points by calling to your potential customers and trying to schedule meetings and do prospecting work, and you can collect points from that point of view. If you have strong pipeline, then you can concentrate only to meet your customers and close the deals. And I think this has been really interesting change what has happened in our sales team. They are really actively following, are they getting enough points? What kind of points? If I'm surviving on the same level than the others, have I got more or less points? Here we can see one super person who has done really amazing work and has really good activity levels. And what I can tell that the person has also developing quite heavily in the results, and I see that it's easy to see that it's because of hard working. I have seen also many times that if it has been that if the activity levels go down and we have this kind of very transparent way of seeing that everyone can see, so everyone in a team can support the person who has a little bit lower bars in this chart. What we are also following is how people are using presentations. We can see who is using actively them. We can see what kind of presentations they are using, and even in which times. It's not that important, but it's important to see that what they are using and who are using actively. And if you see that person is not using at all, then we can think that we can discuss it more detailed. Something, of course, we can see from this basic point collection system, but it's better that you have opportunities to go a little bit more deep. I promised you also to tell a little bit. Of course, I have been telling that this is possible in Seidat, but I want to also go a little bit deeper. What is Seidat all about as a platform? So our mission is to enable winning sales flow, and we are thinking that if you want to enable winning sales flow, it means that you must build your processes really well, and you must use tools which are supporting your sales process on several steps. As I said earlier, the meetings are really important because they are the strongest place where you can affect your sales results, and that's why we are concentrating, of course, to the meetings. What happens before meeting? in a meeting and after the meeting. And the third part, where we believe that companies can build the winning sales flow, is on operational collaboration level. So how your team members are collaborating, how your marketing and sales people are collaborating, and how your salespeople and the buyers are collaborating. And we are helping our customers on those all levels. We don't have only this platform, but we have also services. We really want to be partner to our customers so that we can also help them to build presentations if they don't have their own resources, and train their salespeople to use more efficiently our tool. Our tool is sales presentation platform, and in this platform you can create presentation, you can present them, share the content to your customers and inside your team. You can analyze how presentations are used, and you can of course develop and manage and the whole content library what you have. We have also e-signature solution, so that if you think about the process from lead generation until the end of closing a deal to the signing the contract, we have the whole path there, but we think it also that we can help our customers during the whole life cycle of those contents. And the life cycle, because of that how sales presentations are built, it can be quite long. Some slides are the life cycle of them, it can be years, and that's why it's very important that you have a strong system which supports you to develop them when it's needed, and deliver to all salespeople, to all customers when the content is needed. Our platform can be used with any kind of device, and of course it's cloud-based, so all content what you build, they are in one place. They are not on salespeople's own devices, on the desktop or wherever, which is very typical problem in sales teams, that the content itself, you have it, but it's in so many places that if you really want to use that, it's very hard to find. But when everything is in one place on one dashboard, it's very easy to find it. Our system is also built so that it's supporting, of course, face-to-face meetings, but very strongly also all kind of virtual meetings. So, for example, today I had a meeting with a potential customer, and they wanted to share and show the presentation to me, and they had really many technical problems. And with Seidat, you can always build presentation that way, that even you have only one screen, you can still see your customer faces in video meeting. You can see the presenter view, this one where you can see the whole presentation, and you can select slides, and you can see also the slide which you are sharing in screen share. So all those things can be seen in one screen, and we have seen that it's not possible with many of the most of the platforms which customers are using or companies are using. We have also opportunities to deliver opening notifications. So when you share the content to your customers and they open it, you will get notified by email, and then you absolutely know what to do. It's very typical when the sales cycle is longer, that the content will stay on the table for a short or longer time, and then what happens? When they open, they have started again to discuss about the topic, and then you can call immediately. So that's why it's important that you have this kind of notifications. And all that can be integrated to your sales and marketing ecosystem. So those notifications can be delivered also to your CRM directly with integrations. Or as I told earlier, you can automate the content creation, for example, proposals, integrating your CRM. You can integrate also social media and all kind of advertising pixels. So when you deliver your presentation content to your customers, you can get opportunity to deliver them marketing in, for example, in LinkedIn. So remarketing pixels are the technology. Yes, there has been many topics about how to unlock the sales success. But if I try to summarize that, how to raise up sales results, I must say that this easy topic, quantity, quality, and direction. It is always important. Today, we have mostly been discussing about the quality side, quality part. I must underline that without any quantity, without any those active actions, what salespeople should do, the quality is not important. At first, I see always you must have actions, then you must have good quality and exactly correct direction, and then you can get good results. And please think all those topics when you think about what should we develop next, and identify those development needs, and look especially those interactive parts where you meet customer, where you communicate with customer, because those situations are those are the events where you can raise up really those results and eliminate all unnecessary work and automate everything what you can, and use data, because the data should be the base for all kind of decisions what you make. This is the way how I see how you can unlock your sales success and get better sales results. And if you really want to know a little bit more, I really recommend to visit our other webinars. And webinars are not enough. If you really want to get started to deliver better results, I really recommend also to sign up to our application, visit our website, and there you can also, from our website on contact page, there is also calendar links to our salespeople, and you can immediately there book a meeting and continue the discussion if you find this interesting. I really want to thank you to watch this webinar or the recording later, and I hope that I could deliver you any ideas how to unlock sales success, and I hope that you will have very successful autumn and making new sales records. Thank you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.